Hello horror fans and welcome back to Top 5 Scary Videos. As always, I'll be your host Jack Finch, and what a pleasure it is again to be popping up on your television, personal computer or handheld device, because we're here for the paranormal, the unexplainable and the downright weird. Space is insanely cool, but it's also super scary, so strap on in as we take a look at 5 scary astronaut stories. Just hold up a hot minute though, because I've got a little bit of a surprise for you all today. Now, I'm a huge fan of all things astronomical, but there's no one else on earth better suited for a top space list video than my incredibly great friend, all the way from the upper stratosphere of most amazing top 10, my boy Danny Burke.
Pop.
What's up, bud?
Not much. Hello. This is fun. I'm looking forward to this. I've been watching Jack from the shadows, and I think you're doing such a great job, isn't he? One-way exchange there. I'm also excited to be doing a top 5. Makes a nice change from doing top 10. Make sure you guys go and check out Most Amazing Top 10 if you want to see me and Rebecca and Landon cover all things in top 10 lists. We just hit 4 million subs as well, so come and help us get to 5 million.
Now, just to dispel a few myths, Danny and I aren't brothers, cousins, sons, fathers, or distantly related uncles. It's even up in the air if we're actually the same species. Further tests will conclude, and we'll be sure to keep you all updated, so stay tuned. What do you think of that?
I think you say it to me every day anyway, so I'm pretty used to that.
Now, if you've seen our recent string of alien, astronaut and UFO phenomena videos, then more power to you. But if not, jumping off at some strange sightings in stratospheric space is a pretty swell start.
Coming at number 5 now, we have James McDivitt. James Alton Jim McDivitt was born on June 10th, 1929, and lived his life under the glorious title of NASA astronaut. Now, he was commander under the Gemini 4 flight, where fellow pilot Ed White performed the first ever US spacewalk, which paved the way towards the moon landings and modern space exploration as we know it. Now, later in life, he became manager of lunar landing operations and was the program manager for the Apollo spacecraft mission, so he's got quite a few feathers in his cap. However, it was even weirder then when James McDivitt claimed that he saw something very weird while up there in space. During the 1965 Gemini 4 mission, plainly put, James McDivitt spotted a UFO. So convinced of the fact, McDivitt even spoke about the event in an official interview with NASA. He said, "I looked outside, glanced up, and there was something out there. It had a geometrical shape similar to a beer can or a pop can. It was all white." The press took hold of this story and went wild, and reports of the UFO went global. It wasn't until years later though that McDivitt retracted on his statement and put the whole thing to bed. Or maybe that's just what the government told him to do.
Next up at number 4, we have Yang Liwei. Yang Liwei, born 21st of June 1965, is a Major General, military pilot and astronaut of CNSA, China's equivalent of NASA. In 2003, he was the first person sent into space by the Chinese space program, gaining national notoriety as a grade A certified badass. It was weirder still then that during his maiden flight into space, he recalled hearing a repeated knock on the body of the space vessel. He described it as sounding like someone knocking on an iron bucket with a wooden hammer. Imagine that, you're alone in a tiny spacecraft in the endless abyss of space, and then you hear someone knocking, trying to get in. Also, there's the fact that space is a vacuum, and it's a given that there's no medium for sound to travel within. It got even weirder though, because in later separate missions in 2005 and 2008 respectively, subsequent astronauts reported similar sounds with the same consistent knocking. Well, who knows what it was, but whatever wanted to get in thankfully didn't yet. What do you think of that?
I don't know why I think of that. Literally.
If you were up in space and you heard someone knocking at your door.
I mean, I'd probably just open the door and get it over with right there. If I'm going to die anyway, I might as well do it on my own terms, you know. You're
pretty claustrophobic though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be in space in the first place.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, I'd avoid that whole situation altogether. Exactly, I'm doing it right now. Alright then, jumping in now at the number 3 spot, we've got Neil Armstrong. You may have heard of him, the world's most famous astronaut. Neil Alden Armstrong was born on August 5th, 1930, and sadly passed away at the ripe old age of 82 in August of 2012. Now, during his time, Neil Armstrong was heralded as the first superstar man and was at the forefront of the world's fascination with space travel. After all, he was the first man to walk on the moon, or in a film studio if you're bored and angry. But several theorists believe that something entirely different went down whilst Neil took his stroll on the moon. According to retired Chief of NASA Communications Maurice Chatelain, only moments before Armstrong stepped down the ladder to set his first step on the moon, 2 UFOs apparently hovered overhead. During this time, there was 2 minutes of radio silence that NASA attributed to a television camera overheating, which apparently disrupted the reception. Okay, sure. Well, what did Neil Armstrong say in those 2 silent minutes? "These babies were huge, sir. I'm telling you, there are other spacecraft out here lined up on the far side of the crater's edge. They're on the moon watching us." Mr. Armstrong kept his lips tightly sealed until he passed away, but there are some people that still firmly believe that in 1969, not only did we land on the moon, but we may have also discovered alien life there as well. I think this leaves conspiracy theorists with a little bit of a dilemma. How could NASA cover up the alien meetings if it was all filmed on Earth? Something has got to go, and it might be reality.
And bringing it in at number 2, we have Vladimir Komarov. Phew, this one is a bit of a doozy. On May 5th, 1981, Soviet hero and cosmonaut Major General Vladimir Komarov made a claim that still perplexes people to this very day. According to Vladimir, he had just finished doing some outer space maneuvering outside the Salyut orbital space station when he looked out of a porthole and saw something that would make his hair stand on end. Unlike in America though, Vladimir was encouraged to openly express exactly what he saw when he returned home, where he described it in a Moscow press conference. He began by saying that many cosmonauts had seen phenomena far beyond the experiences of the people of Earth. At the time of this mission, he was over an area of South Africa, moving towards an area of the Indian Ocean. As he turned, he saw through a porthole an object which he could not explain. And then something happened that blew his mind. Seemingly impossible according to the laws of physics, the object became elliptical, appearing to rotate in flight direction. Before it could move forward though, an explosion happened of bright, beautiful golden light, followed by a second further explosion. After the blast, Vladimir saw a weird white smoke, then a cloud-like sphere, before the scene disappeared from his view. Now, if you believe this guy, then what he describes kind of sounds like faster than light travel, and some alien species just decided they'd pop in and say hello and show off their technology. Who knows? But if you believe this Russian cosmonaut, then who's to say that they're not still out there?
Well, I mean, I don't think the Russians have ever lied about anything, ever. I can't think of one instance where...
I didn't expect you to say that.
No, I definitely believe the cosmonauts, maybe more than the astronauts. I do think there's a culture in the US of
I mean,
hush.
he doesn't really have reason to lie though, really. No one's saying it's not a trick of the light or, you know, something bouncing off somewhere, but he's up there. He's smart enough to get up there. Stupid people don't go to space.
No.
So
I don't think that. Would they kill him for that? Would they kill him for saying that? No. As long as it's not hurting.
He's a hero.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. All right, finally now at number 1, we've got Gordon Cooper. Gordon Cooper, aka the first American to have a nap in space during his 34-hour Mercury 9 mission, which was launched in 1963. He was born in Oklahoma in 1927. Gordon Cooper was a pretty level-headed, softly spoken guy and racked up some pretty incredible, valuable missions into space, as well as other critical research that came with it. He was possibly the most vocal advocate of the life forms that lurk in the depths of space, so much so that he even went to the United Nations conference to submit his extraterrestrial claims. Now, during his 22-hour orbit trip around Earth, as he floated above Perth, Australia, Cooper suddenly noticed a strange green glowing object approaching the Mercury capsule that he was flying in. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Well, Gordon Cooper definitely thought so too, and he was convinced that he was witnessing some sort of alien life in action. Well, the object that he saw was actually picked up by a radar tracking station in Moochia, Australia, and Cooper reported the incident via radio while he was on the mission. When he landed, things got a little bit hush-hush, you could say, and Gordon Cooper's incident was swept under the rug. When questioned, NBC reporters were explicitly told that he was unavailable to comment regarding the strange green sighting. What do you guys think of that?
What do I think? Gordon Cooper sounds pretty legit though. To go to the UN and say, guys, I saw an alien up there.
Yeah.
Take some brass tacks.
I was going to say that not everyone can do that. You know, I don't want anyone watching this to think, oh, I saw a UFO as well. I'll just go to the UN and tell them about it.
How do you submit that?
No, yeah, they don't care. Unless you've been to space, they don't care. Don't try.
Does that mean if you have been to space, you can say whatever you want?
You can say whatever you want. You can talk to the UN all day. Do you think we've got anyone who's actually been to space watching this?
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today, folks. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend.
Also, before I go, I just want to say again, make sure you go and check out Most Amazing Top 10. Like I said, we've just hit 4 million. Very excited to hit 5 million, so come and help us do that.
We sincerely hope you've enjoyed this spacious list. We've had a blast making it. Make sure to head over to Most Amazing Top 10 and check this guy in action. You've been watching Top 5 Scary Videos. I've been your host, Danny Burke.
And I have been Jack Finch.
And until next time, you take it easy.
Bye.